Lexi here, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my weekly deck reviews. I hesitated on weekly because I've super not been weekly the last two of these actually. But life sometimes throws you a little curveball and then things get a little out of whack, but I am back on schedule. So I have been doing this series for a very long time on my channel, but what weekly deck reviews is, it is where I share with you the decks that I've been working with over the past week or a couple of weeks, and then I share how they worked out for me, how they read, how they paired together, and I then talk about what I'm gonna be working with next week, and I just keep rolling this forward. And to me, it's a really valuable series because I do unboxings on this channel, but those are always first impressions. They are my initial thoughts when I first am looking through the artwork in a deck. And so weekly deck reviews gives me an opportunity to actually share with you my thoughts about working with the deck and sort of how it kind of reads for me or how it performs for me. So these are a great way to sort of share with you the meat of it once I've gotten into the substance of the deck. And another series on my channel where you can kind of get a little bit of an idea of the meat of it, or more of an in-depth idea of how a deck works out, is in my Tarot by the Book series. I don't think I have those in a playlist right now. I'll try to get it together and get them in a playlist soon. But you can watch for Tarot by the Book every Sunday. That is when I do a week ahead reading for the collective and show you how a deck actually works in action. So it's just really fun for me to be able to circle back to these decks and share with you, you know, how they actually work out. So now that I've said that as many ways as I could, I'm gonna jump into it. So actually, for the past couple of weeks, I have been working with the beautiful Playful Heart Tarot. This is by Kitten Chops. It comes in this gorgeous tuck box, and I am not normally a fan of tuck boxes, you guys. Like, I'll be honest, but this one, I opened it from the bottom actually because it has a seal on the top and I didn't want to break the seal. How geeky is that? But I learned that from the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot, and I'm pretty sure these are made by the same company. I think somebody in my comments confirmed that when I last talked about this deck, but the box feels like that nice quality. It's got the little seal, and look at this, look at the touches. Like, there's all these metallic touches, and then when you open it from the bottom, it even says, it says, "Thank you, kittens." How cute. Come on, focus, camera. There we go. Thank you, kittens. Is it upside down? Now it's right side up. Super cute. And there's like all these little details on the box. Yeah, fully illustrated 78 card plus 4 bonus cards tarot deck created by Kitten Chops Illustration. Now, Kitten Chops gave me this deck for review and it was super sweet of her, and I could not have been more thrilled. I cannot tell you guys how many people messaged me and were like, "Lisa, you need this deck." And they were so right. Okay, so from a tactile and production quality standpoint, this deck is so nice to work with. It's a linen finish. It's that playing card, like textured finish, but it's very smooth feeling. These cards are literally going to last a lifetime. I shuffled the crap out of these cards this week, well, the last 2 weeks, and this is one of those decks that I feel like people may have a tendency to sell short or to underrate it. What is the wording I'm looking for? Because it's got this very playful imagery in it. It's really, let me just hold these up so that they have a chance to focus. It's really Kitten Chops' art style here. It's got this sort of inner child friendly look about it. And what amazed me working with this deck was just how much depth there is tucked away into each of these images. This card came up for me in a spread, and it was beautiful. I think this deck does an absolutely, sorry for the traffic noises, but my window needs to be open. This deck does an absolutely outstanding job of representing the meanings and giving you a lot to look at and to sort of pull from when you're reading intuitively. I literally could not have been more thrilled, and I actually really didn't want to put it down, which is why I ended up working with it for 2 weeks. This is definitely a favorite for me. I found this to be such a wonderful reader right out of the box, and there's so much depth and personality. I wish I could fully describe just how much, okay, I do the thing. I gotta keep holding them here. Just how much these blew me away. Zara did an absolutely outstanding job really conveying the feeling of every card, and I think maybe that's what it is. This one totally makes me think of Oprah and the Prizes, which is so appropriate when you think of it for the Nine of Pentacles. I felt like every single card spoke directly to the my emotional body, my mind and emotion body. I don't know how else to describe it. It just goes right to you. And it just blew me away. Like, I'm actually kind of speechless looking at it. I literally almost don't want to play with it. Like, look how much there is here in this Five of Wands. Each of these, like, I might have talked about this before, but I thought this was such a potent card about competing and how each person or each figure in this card who's competing has a slightly different emotion they're experiencing about that competition and how it's making them feel. I mean, there's so much good stuff here. Look at this Five of Pentacles. Look at the feeling and the emotion in this experience. So much that you can dig into, and I don't think I was expecting that. And so I really think this is one of those decks that's going to go underrated because of its playful artwork. And you guys know that this artwork is right up my alley. You know I love me some inner child work. You know that I love the light and the bright and the joyful. But this is so much more than that. And I think it would be doing this deck a disservice to pigeonhole it into just like an inner child deck or just a playful deck. There's so much more here, and absolutely a complete joy to work with, and one that I don't want to ever have very far from me. Like, it's a fast favorite for sure. Now there is, I believe, if I remember correctly, there was a link to get a digital guidebook, and I think I did get it and look through it. But you guys, I haven't even felt, I like working with guidebooks, don't get me wrong, but I've just really enjoyed using this deck intuitively. It's just been such a pleasure. Okay, anyway, I'm literally, I can't shut up about it. It's been so nice to work with. So I actually do really like the tuck box. The main reason that I kept it out of the tuck box this week is because I literally didn't want anything slowing me down getting to the cards, and I used them so much. So, but again, it's a very nice, like, it feels like a coated tuck box. It's not that really flimsy. You can kind of see, like, it's not that really flimsy, super soft cardboard. It's got like some substance to it, so it feels like it actually is protecting the cards. And I'm just keeping mine in this like lime green, like really brightly colored bag. And this is going to be hanging on my favorites rack for sure, and I'm probably going to be reaching for it a ton. I love it. I love it. And I would have reached for it more for client readings this past couple of weeks, if not for the fact that a lot of my client readings over the past couple of weeks just called for a different style of deck. But oh my gosh, this has so much to it. Okay, gushing, I know. The other deck I really have to gush a lot about is the When My Soul Whispered Oracle deck. Now, I backed this on Kickstarter. Look at the magnetic. I love, this is my favorite style of box. I know I've said it before, but I just love this style of box so much. These cards do have a rose petal finish. I backed this deck because I was a sucker for the art style, and I was a sucker for the fact that it pulled in chakras, and I was a sucker for the fact that it had a ladybug and a unicorn in it. And if anybody knows, those are like my two, like the two kind of energies that, I don't have an animal deck that is an oracle deck that does not have both a unicorn and a ladybug in it. Like, it's just a thing for me. This has both, and the ladybug actually has the keyword worth in this card, in this deck. But this has been such an amazing workhorse for me. It has read beautifully beside the Playful Heart Tarot, and I think it really worked well with that deck. I've also used this deck for client readings a bit this past couple of weeks. I've used it for myself a bunch, and it's just been really on point. I haven't felt limited at all by the white, like I haven't felt disconnected from it because of the white space. The keyword and the simple color palettes used for each card helped me to tune into the chakras, which was one of the intents of the deck. So I think that's really cool. I didn't end up working with the digital guidebook with this deck, again, really at all. I'm actually tempted, I think partly because of my time working with this deck and just in general thinking about it over the last couple weeks, I'm tempted to do Oracle by the book. Like, I have tarot by the book, but I'm thinking of doing Oracle by the book and maybe doing like a month ahead reading or something so that I can loop in Oracle decks in the same way and work with their guidebooks, because there's just so much good stuff. But this is definitely, again, a favorite. And I think because I was working with two decks that I loved so much, there it is, there's my ladybug, worthy, yeah. because I was working with 2 decks that I just was loving so much, I think that definitely contributed to me not wanting to change out my decks after a week. I just was like, I couldn't do it. Oh, I love this so much. Listen, and it's a seashell, which just, it marries so, this deck, I can't even finish a sentence because I'm so worked up. This deck, and it's also beautifully gilded, by the way, and a really nice thick cardstock. It's a, I would say it's like a poker size deck, like a playing card size. So it's a nice size too. But this deck actually marries so much that is integral to my practice, both with the choice of keywords and the chakras being included. And I don't know, there's something about it that just, it just works so well. And these cards paired so incredibly beautifully with tarot. I think it's because they just enhanced the meaning of the card. They gave you another layer to look at. And when you use this in conjunction with another deck, those single powerful keywords, it just worked so well. Definitely a very favorite Oracle deck. Again, kind of sad to be putting it away because it was just so wonderful to work with. I haven't picked a bag for this deck yet, but I feel like it needs to be something that pulls into like the oranges and the yellows and stuff. So we'll see what I can dig up. But I am so in love with this. I'm so in love with this. So it was just a winner of a couple of weeks to have those 2 decks paired together. The other thing I wanted to mention, because I don't think I've talked about it this month yet, and I'm trying to keep you guys posted, I do rotate my Lenormand decks monthly, and in May I have been working with my little Bitmoji Lenormand deck. So these are the backs of my cards. These were, Bitmoji is an app where you can create, oh yeah, that's right. So this is me and this is Peggy. Look, are we the cutest? She's my man card, just for the sake of like my significant other card. I just think this is the cutest. So this is actually something that you can put together yourself and then upload the images to make playing cards. There's instructions on how to do this. I have a walkthrough of this deck, and I believe I have the link in the walkthrough to the instructions on how to make your own. I think. But Peggy and I actually each have one of these, and I'm so grateful to Julie, who helped us put it all together. I shouldn't say helped us, she did it. She did it all. I did nothing. She basically put the entire thing together and uploaded the images and facilitated the entire process, did all the work. But these are just using emoji pictures that you can get from that app, and then the playing card associations are on this deck. But I think because it sort of visually represents me, and because the partner card in here is Peggy, it's just, it feels so spot on, and it feels really fun to work with this when it feels like it's my deck. So that's been really fun, and I've been really enjoying it. The way that I use a Lenormand in my practice throughout the month is I do a 3-card week ahead reading for myself, and I also pair it with a 3-rune reading for the week ahead for myself. And then at the end of the week, I usually reflect back on that week ahead reading, and I kind of notate how it all played out and see how the Lenormand predicted the events of the week. And I really enjoy working with Lenormand in that way. So yeah, look at the dog card. It's like me playing with a pupper. I can kind of tell myself that's Bruno. I mean, it doesn't really look like Bruno, but I mean, it's close. Close enough to pass muster. And I also wanted to, oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to share. So the reading cloth I've been using for the past couple of weeks is this one. This is one of my longtime favorites. It's got these beautiful birch, I say birch, it's like whitewashed wood paneling look on one side, and then on the other side it's like all this like slate kind of, what do you call this, like pavement almost stones. Really pretty, and I like that it's light, and it just went really well behind the decks that I was working with this week, and it was super fun. This is one of my favorites. I constantly go back to it because I don't actually have a ton of reading cloths that have light colors in the back. A lot of my reading cloths are darker and have darker colors in the back, so this one's really fun to work with. Let's talk about what I'm going to be working with next week. So I threw the decks that I haven't worked with yet into a random name picker app and picked my 2 decks that way. So my tarot deck I'm going to be working with this week is the Beautiful Wizards Tarot by Barbara Moore. I'm really excited to play with this one. I'm really excited to dig into the guidebook because while I've read bits of it, I haven't read the entire thing. And there is a chunk in the back. Oh no, I did read the back. Yeah, there's a section in the back called The Magical Path. I want to refresh myself on that because I read it when I first got this deck and I haven't read it since. This is another deck that was sent to me by the creator. So Barbara Moore actually sent me this deck for review, and I did a full walkthrough on my channel, so I will also link that up in the cards. I'll have that one and the full walkthrough of the Playful Heart Tarot both up in the cards for you. Also, if I remember, I will also have the walkthrough of When My Soul Whispered. You know, this is the first weekly deck review I've done in a while where I actually have walkthroughs for most of the decks because I've got so many that I haven't done walkthroughs on. Anyway, really excited to work with the guidebook. Barbara Moore is pretty much my favorite guidebook author. And these are the cards, just to give you an idea of the artwork. There's this kind of digital magical world. They're a little bit on the glossy side. You can see there's a bit of reflect there. I love the backings. I really enjoyed walking through this deck, so I'm excited to dig into it. I feel like if I have time, I would love to edge this in reds, oranges, and yellows to match the backings. I think that'd be really, really pretty and would go really nicely like when you fan them out. And at least for this week, I haven't decided that this is the bag they're going to live in permanently, but this is the bag that I am going to be using with it, and it's so pretty. I've been waiting for the right deck to put in it, and I think this is the one. I just think it works really well with that sort of wizardy, magic-y theme. So that is the bag that I'm going to be using, and this is the reading cloth. Oh, no, before I show you the reading cloth, let me talk about the Oracle deck I'm going to be using. So I actually got this in a trade when I went to Northwest Tarot Symposium. This is poignant because this is the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle by Grounded by the Moon. This is timely, and I did actually randomly choose it out of my random name picker, so that was kind of a fun coincidence. But this deck is actually, this is the first edition, I believe, or maybe it's the second edition. Does it say? I think this is the first edition of this deck. This is an Oracle deck that is inspired by the movie Practical Magic, as I understand it. But this artwork, I think there was some stuff going around about this artwork was like screenshot from the movie or something, and I did speak to the creator. That is not the case, so just so you know. But these images are definitely inspired by the movie, and honestly, it's just a really fun witchy vibe of a Oracle deck, and I totally sidetracked myself. Oh yes, there is a second edition or a third edition, I think it's second though, coming out, and it's going to be hitting Kickstarter, I believe, in about a week, maybe less by now. You can take a look at Grounded by the Moon on Instagram and check it out, but I'm pretty sure it's coming real soon. So this will be coming back to Kickstarter. I'm not familiar with what the changes to the cards are going to be. I should have done it the other way, sorry. Like trying to get in the habit, because I know sometimes I go really quick and I've had that feedback that like people don't get a chance to see the cards if I'm too fast. But I love this. Now that movie is a huge part of my baby witch days and just in general a witchy movie that I really love. So all of these symbols obviously tie into the movie for me and give me that extra layer of meaning. But just in general, there's a lot of like fun witchy meaning to these cards and their images. I do think this is going to be fun to work with beside the Wizard's Tarot. I think it's going to work really well. There are also a few spreads that were included in the deck. So there is there's a couple. There's a Witch's Self-Care 4-card spread, which looks pretty fun. And I really enjoy when spreads are on cards like this in the deck. And the Inner Witch 5-card spread. So I'm going to be playing with this as my Oracle deck of the week, and I will definitely keep you guys posted about how that goes. There is a little guidebook with the deck that just has some, it looks like some keyword, there's a message, some keywords, and an affirmation, which I really love. So I will let you guys know how this works out. I have not worked with this deck before, but I had seen it before, so I'm excited to see how it all plays out. And I'm just going to keep this in the bag with the Wizard's Tarot because this isn't very big. It's only got like 37 cards, so it's not a super thick deck. So I'm just going to keep it with its tuck box in with my Wizard's Tarot, and then I can just easily carry these around together this week. So that's what I'm going to do there. And the reading cloth I decided to use, this is actually kind of funny. There was a witchy box that I got. It wasn't a Witch's Moon box. I think it was a Witch's Moon box or a... No, I think, or not, sorry, not a Witch's Moon box. There was one I got for a bit called the Witch's Box, and there was another one I got for a little bit. I can't remember the name of it now. I don't think it exists anymore though. It was like a ritual box. Anyway, and I got this like kind of past, present, future kind of spread cloth thingy. It was single layer, but I whined at Peggy and she backed it onto a little piece of velvet for me. So I'm probably gonna mostly use it on the black velvety side, but it's a really nice little size. Like, it's not super huge. So that's what I'm gonna use. I was just checking how much time I had left on my camera. I'm like, I've been talking for 20 minutes. How does that even happen? Anyways, I'm really excited to dig into Wizard's Tarot. I'm gonna take a flip through the guidebook. But can I just say, I love that Llewellyn is coming out with these guidebooks with these huge images from the decks, like full page color gorgeousness, because I do think it makes the guidebook so enjoyable to just sit and read, because you don't have to have the deck out to reference as you're going through. You have these nice big beautiful images, and sometimes these big beautiful images let you really like see details that you might not otherwise spot in the normal size like tarot cards. So like, look at the richness of this library. Like, I just love this. So yeah, I'm really excited to play with this. I'm pretty sure, I feel like I've read through this entire guidebook already, but I'm gonna refresh myself. God, some of these images are just everything. I love this Page of Cups. Okay, I'm gonna stop touring the book on camera. I can do that in my own time. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, really love doing this series. It's something that I'm probably gonna continue to do for a long time. I may sometimes switch up the frequency like I did this month, but for the most part, I don't see this going anywhere because I enjoy rotating my decks and then I enjoy sharing them with you guys. So thanks so much for hanging out. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and make sure that if you're on your phone, you've like allowed notifications, because apparently that's a thing that I found out is happening, is that if you have allowed notifications but not on your phone, then you won't get the notifications when we go live or a new video goes up or whatever. So thank you so much for hanging out. Remember that if you want to book a tarot reading with me, you can do that over at supportivetarot.com. I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are, and I will see you all again soon. Bye!